You're listening to DraftKings Network.
When it comes to towing, seeing is believing. That's why Chevy Truck's advanced camera technology offers up to 8 available cameras for 14 unique views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Learn more about Chevy Trucks at Chevy.com. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the Vehicle Owner's Manual for important feature limitations and information.
Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB the CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
I would only consider doing this if the Heat know about this ahead of time. Like, they're not surprised because 5 people from the Le Batard show are walking.
We have a good
into
relationship with them.
Greg,
We're gonna roll the dice.
It says here if the event is more than 25 miles from the Kaseya Center, mileage is to be paid by the client at the rate of 56 cents per mile.
Wow.
Boom.
There you go.
This tryout seems like it's 25 miles from the Kaseya Center.
Should Golden Oldies incur any miscellaneous expense, i.e. parking and or valet charges, it is the client's responsibility to cover such costs.
What about hip replacements?
Trips that require air travel will be arranged on a case-by-case basis, so they might be getting you some flight time.
Playoffs?
Get
Who's
flued out.
flying the Golden Oldies anywhere?
I love this. All right, so it's settled.
All right. Do you have someone ready?
I got a thumbs up from Carl. So
all right,
that's
there we
all
go.
that's all I
who's
need.
going with me to insulate me?
We'll figure that out.
No, I want to know.
Chris, you should have to go.
I'm gonna
stay
We'll
here.
figure it out.
Do they just tell them to dance? Is it a dance till you drop kind of situation? Do they have to do
Hopefully
routines?
not.
They give them.
Greg, isn't that a thing from like the
would be
olden days?
terrible.
Like the dance 24-hour dance marathons and like the last couple standing would win?
Yeah, there used to
You
be
ever go
that.
to one of those?
There used to be that.
Did you have them dancing until they dropped dead?
No, I'm not. No,
There
you
used to
guys
be
are
dance
dark.
marathons. Jess is right.
You guys'
Thank you.
algorithms are all messed up. No, I was just saying like until you tap out or whatever, or
Tap out.
or do they give you routines? Is there a routine that you got to do?
That's what I would like to know. What am I getting myself into here? What do I have to do?
I'll keep reading.
Well, it looked like on the flyer there was a prep session last week that we may have missed. So I fear that the other contestants will be showing up a little bit more prepared
Have a
than
leg up.
Greg. Literally.
I trust Greg, his ability to think on his feet and learn on the fly. This is, if anything, he's proven over the years that he's an adaptable human being.
Yeah.
Who you give him a set of circumstances and he'll get used to it.
I'm so happy this is happening.
You have to guarantee me that there will be no media there.
Well,
because
you'll be there.
If Ariadne from NBC6 is there,
Right.
and I'm on the
You're
6
out.
o'clock news doing this,
Yeah.
it will be mortifying.
It's Will Manso.
Great name choice.
No, I can guarantee Ari will be there.
Yeah.
and Will Manson.
What
That
else
guy's
is Ari
everywhere.
doing?
I will
I mean-
tip him off.
No, please don't. Please. No. Don't you dare, because Ari would show up.
He would. And he's been tipped.
No.
Greg, we should make a bargin. If you
He'd
go
show up
today,
without being tipped. So.
Now, he might be 60. Maybe he's dancing.
If you go today, we'll do this deal on Dan's behalf. Dan will do this when he turns 60.
Okay.
You do it today.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this.
Next year.
Deal.
This is the old Wimpy from Popeyes, right? I will gladly pay you for a burger today.
That's
with 2 burgers tomorrow, whatever. However, he said.
I'll gladly give you $2 tomorrow for a burger today.
Yeah,
That's how it
good
is.
reference by Amin.
Thank you.
Christopher, you do have to promise me that the Heat will be forewarned about this, that we're not just showing up.
I'm texting Jeremy right now. He'll talk to his people. You'll be fine.
What if
because I don't want to disrespect
Dad, if
the
worst
other
case they don't let you come,
oldies.
like we're not going to if they say no, we will listen to them.
You're not by doing it this way. You're honoring the.
You're going to go at 11 and sign up.
You're not demanding you make the team. You're going.
You followed my instructions.
Trying out. Right. You'd be on the team.
The optics would have been bad if you did what I suggested, which is just bomb in and use your fame. But no, you're doing this the right way.
Greg, you're showing that you put your pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else.
I don't though. I put my pants on 2 legs at a time.
Do you?
Really? Yeah, I do.
Sitting down?
You
sit down and do it, huh?
No, I do. Yeah.
Interesting.
And one, it has to be exact.
Right.
Like pant leg can't be leading by more than 3 inches.
They have to be even the
what
entire time.
What if one leg gets caught in that thing with like the shorts?
That happens.
Yeah.
Especially with
The
a new
seam.
pair of pants.
So you start over?
I had Christopher and Michael holding either side of the pants, and then you from a platform above jumping down and
That'd be good.
landing.
That might work with the big fat-legged bib overalls or something. I've never worn a bib overall in my life.
Really? Why
my
not?
My dad used to wear bib overalls.
Wild Bill?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Wild bib.
You okay? Oh, damn.
Listen.
That's a good laugh.
Till he drops.
Get it out.
Well, bib.
Wild Bib used to wear them for work purposes or just a fashion?
Just for fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Shirt or no shirt?
No shirt.
Really?
No, I'm
Oh,
just
that's
kidding.
how you do it.
No, he wore a shirt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, flannel.
Straw hat.
That's a
Red
chafing
flannel.
nipple nightmare with no shirt.
Yeah, we don't like the no shirt look under any circumstances.
Ever?
No, I shower with a shirt on.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, I do.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I do.
In your pool.
Well, I wash my hair in my pool.
Yeah.
And then I'm usually shirtless, but not always.
Then transition to the shower, put a shirt on. Nice fresh shirt.
That's right.
Take the shower, rest of the shower.
Pants on 2 legs at a time.
Yep.
What if you're the golden
and
oldie that
Michael-
has to like lift up the shirt to show your belly?
That ain't gonna
Oh,
happen.
no,
No?
wait, that
that
is
a
a
thing?
move. That is a thing they do sometimes.
You have such a marquee belly button, though.
You do.
Oh,
It's a draw.
It seems like Amin knows the full routine. How well are you familiar with this?
I've
group?
watched 8 billion Miami Heat games, and it feels like the Golden Oldies are at every game, even though I know that's not the case. Look, they are a well-oiled machine. Now, Greg, I'm going to tell you right now, it's the Miami Heat, so they don't like the blade of grass that sticks up the wrong way. They want everybody moving in unison. So you're going to have to show that you can conform a little.
Yeah.
But there is a way to be a star within conformity. Don't let people tell you that means you got to be bland and uniform. You can still pop while still going with the flow.
I assume that the people auditioning today would be newcomers, right? Like their first time auditioners.
They probably make veterans re-audition. I would guess.
Well,
that's what other cheer squads do.
Do they?
Yeah.
I have
Wait,
no idea.
do you get past the first cut at least or something? Like there's got to be
No.
some. Wow.
You don't even
I
go
don't
first
know,
round
I mean-
bye.
So you made the team last year. You're starting from scratch this year. That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem fair
I
at
feel
all.
like there's politics involved in that, though. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like, you have to try out, but...
Guess who's good at politics?
Who?
Gregory Cody.
Wow.
Look at that sheet.
GPC.
7 votes, baby.
Greg, if you had to do like an audition to one song and it was like your signature song and like your signature audition dance, what song would you choose?
Maybe King of the Road.
Wow. That's a good one.
Sailors for Sail Lawrence.
I guess
Dance
the
to
crowd
this?
going.
to let 50 cents.
What are you dancing to this?
I don't know what I'm... I don't
shoulder
have a
shimmy?
dance move.
It would seem that the music you liked was not necessarily dancing friendly.
Oh, yes, it
Yes,
is.
thank you, Billy.
No, it is.
It is? Okay.
Oh,
I'm wrong.
They waltz and they kind of ballroom
Doesn't
dance.
listen to that, guys. He listens to stuff like he's wearing a Tits in the Maytals shirt right now.
To
Like
film it.
he's got a deeper catalog. He's not listening to chamber music or
It is true.
polka.
It is true. Mike's right.
No, he's a hip hop
Why
fan. He
you-
likes back. Like he's got rhythm.
Why are you getting so defensive?
Because
of
he's
Mike
got
Diaz?
because
Yes.
it's just
I'm
what
a
you're
loser,
presenting
baby.
is what you're presenting is just not true.
Sorry.
He likes LCD sound system. He
Yes, I
likes
do.
music with like some 808s. some
North
bumps
American
in it.
scum. You're welcome.
This is very exciting. I mean, you're going to be a golden oldie. I mean,
We hope not.
No,
we hope so.
No, you have to try your best. Don't go out there and tank it. Don't tank it.
Oh,
Like,
if Greg's going up there, he's going to try his best. I mean, what's the point?
I mean,
right?
how can we incentivize you to try your absolute best? What's an incentive you'd like?
I wish I knew more about what I'm getting into. Like, am I just in a line kicking my leg with other oldies, or am I doing a routine all by myself? Like, just...
Well, we've established that you don't like being all by yourself, right? You hide on the dance floor is the way you put it.
Yes.
I think there's a way to make it work, though, with a dance troupe, because they usually put the best dancers front and center. And as you move further to the back, those are the weaker dancers back there. So I'm going off of all my Golden Oldies experience watching all these Miami Heat games. So don't think that, like, hey, if I get on this team, they're going to put me front and center and then I have to lead this thing. They hide you.
So there are bad Golden Oldies, you're saying?
There are ones that are not as good as the best ones. The best ones are really good.
That's reassuring.
It's like bench players on an NBA team.
Yeah.
I mean, right.
So the best ones are probably like former Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall.
Or just people who love the art form.
Yeah.
You know?
That ain't me, babe.
You make your demands, Greg. You tell them where you want to play. That's it. You know? I want this spot. If you make the team.
He's going to make it, but you got to try. I feel like I'm talking to my kid right now. Like, you can't just go in there with a defeatist attitude. You got to go in there and try.
Inherently, I am going to be embarrassed and embarrass myself, but not willfully. Just by lack of dancing talent.
Okay.
Can we practice a little?
Yeah. We've done this before, but let me see your belly button.
Stand up. Get a little practice in.
All right. For the audio audience.
The only dance move I have is...
That's a signature.
That's a good one.
Do the thing with the tail. The tail.
Tail. That's good. Now drop it down low and torque your little ass.
Is there a sprinkler in there? Anything? I mean,
A little side to side.
You know the sprinkler?
lawnmower?
Hey, that's good, man. You're fluid.
Give us a kick.
You've got a good gait.
Well, don't give him all the goods right now.
You got like a Michael Jackson kick in you or something?
I'm spent.
Don't give him the cow.
What's the thing
milk.
Snoop Dogg does?
Let's see.
You don't want to see walk.
it.
Don't see walk.
I
Don't
think
see
that's
walk.
it.
They do that, though.
They shouldn't.
Well, guess what?
Just try it. Go ahead.
2024.
What?
Keep going.
Do the gritty.
I'm out of moves.
What is the thing,
Do the
Snoop?
gritty. I know you know how to do the gritty. I've seen you.
that a boy.
All right.
Yes.
Greg, teach me how to Dougie, Greg.
Black Beatles challenge. Go.
I don't know how to do any of that stuff. What is the gritty?
What do you think it is? Why don't you do what you think it is, and then we'll say yes or no. What?
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's the gritty. There you go.
Nailed
it.
That's the gritty.
It's actually not.
It's like the
too far
Heisman too
removed.
small.
Soldier Boy, tell him, Greg.
All spent. That's all my material. See, I don't have to audition now. Just send that tape to the
just made
Golden
the
Oldie
team.
organizer.
Superman that O.
So, before...
I'm winded.
What time is the audition?
Noon.
And it's across the street.
It's not.
It's in Pembroke
Pembroke
Pines.
Pines.
Shit.
It's in another
How
county.
inconvenient.
I mean,
So
We're doing it, though. We're committed.
So he's
I already
got-
see Danny with a backpack on.
So he's got to
ready.
leave
Really?
fairly soon.
wow.
No.
Danny does always have a backpack.
What time do I have to be there?
11 is when the registration starts,
And
but
how
just
quickly
leave now.
can I leave?
You're going to leave after this segment and go.
Well, Greg should have someone register for him, I think.
Well, hold on.
If it doesn't start till noon, can I get there at like 11:55?
That's a great
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
we
you
want to
can.
get. We want to
Yes.
get. We want you to get there around 11:15, 11:30, and we can like go check in with you
Yeah.
and
Set
get
the
a vibe
scene.
check.
It is important for you to politic also when you get there.
Right.
Yeah. You get there 5 minutes before, then the other Golden Oldies think, oh, this man
Maybe-
thinks he's above us. You need to go and
Yeah.
shake some hands,
In
maybe
the-
find out who the judges are.
In the 11 o'clock hour, maybe you and Jeremy can get the person who's judging this, and we interview them and put a little pressure on them to just make you get on the team.
That's a lot
That's
of
a
work.
Jeremy thing.
Yeah.
I have an idea for you, Greg. Who does Chris have in the keeper league? Because I heard the trade deadline got extended. So maybe if you go, you guys do a little.
I got Chris Olave. I have. Who the hell else do I have? Tyreek Hill.
Nice.
Sounds like a hand lotion. Olave.
Okay.
Ooh,
You're right.
Speaking
yeah.
of,
Yeah.
I have
Olave.
another song for you with Olave because of Puka Nakua.
Yeah.
I wanted you to do Olave.
Oh, Olave. Oh. Yeah, we can work that
think
out.
I wish part of
we
this
can make
trial
that a
was
hit.
singing. You'd be a lock if it was.
Oh, it could be. It could
ahead,
be.
sing.
Olave.
Now dance while you're doing that.
I don't know.
You gotta
no,
dance.
I can't do both.
You can't do both.
That one's an easy dance. You just have your one hand on your chest.
Ooh,
and
I
you
like
kinda,
that.
You kind of
Give it a
Christopher
try, give it a
Walken.
try.
There he goes. Oh.
Yeah, now you got to sing too.
Olave. I have no idea the words of that song.
That's the word.
That's it. That's all I know
Volare.
about that
There's a
song.
great Columbo episode where they're on a cruise and the woman is singing the song while the murderer slips into the cabin and does the murder. It's a very good episode.
The murderer slips? Does he go, hola? Whoa!
No, the cruise singer sings Volare while the murderer slips into the room. Silent.
Oh, yeah.
But you said slips.
And then does the murder.
Slip as in sneakily enters.
Okay.
I love the idea of my dad getting there, ready to go, and they're like, sorry, sir, no boat shoes.
Good.
Don't
Then I'm disqualified from auditioning.
Please
Perfect.
don't make marks.
Best of both worlds.
We have time to get your shoes.
Greg,
I'll do it barefoot. I'll dance barefoot. I don't care.
Problem solved.
What's going on the Greg Cody Show this week?
We have Mario Cristobal on, the Miami Hurricanes football coach. He's unusually candid. It's a very good interview.
Interview cuts out 20 minutes in, just because my dad doesn't have a proper Zoom.
Yeah, and then we finished the interview on the phone. It was weird. The father-son Olympics are coming to a crescendo.
Wow.
And we are trying to settle on a final tiebreaker.
Ooh, there was a
5-5.
tie?
Yeah, it's 5-5. We need a tiebreaker. I have a vote online. The categories are putt-putt.
This is the new and unimproved Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
In the NFL, there is no margin for error. One mistake can change the outcome of a game. Science proves quality sleep can help boost reaction time, recovery time, and overall athletic performance. As the official sleep wellness partner of the NFL, Sleep Number's mission is to provide players with data and insights to optimize their sleep for the ultimate competitive edge. Sleep is essential for recovery, and we all have unique needs. That's why Sleep Number smart beds are perfect for couples, with individualized settings for each side. Since 2018, Sleep Number and the NFL have teamed up to bring quality sleep to elite athletes. 8 out of 10 NFL players, including 80% of Kansas City Chiefs players, trust Sleep Number for their best rest. And now, during Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus special financing for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. See store for details.
Dan Le Batard.
And then Matt Stafford threw him 25 and 2. Oh, there's a brand new kid in town out of BYU.
Stugotz.
They call him Puka. Puka Nakua. His quarterback is not named Tua. Yeah, he is Puka. Puka Nakua.
This is the Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz.
For those of you tuning in live right now, you just turned on the YouTube live stream or wherever you're catching us, and you're saying, wait a second, it's a Greg Cody Tuesday. Where's Greg Cody? We sent him.
He just left.
He's on
He did,
assignment.
yes.
We sent him on assignment to
Yep.
go try out for the Golden Oldies.
He's complaining, like, where is this place?
You had to drag him out of here.
And he's just like, wait, I've got to bring my stuff. I'm not coming back. I'm like, Dad, this is in Pines.
He's going to fit in perfectly.
Can you imagine the back in my day material he's going to get out of that? Just being around other
Not
people?
really.
No?
Is he going to be like the young whippersnapper there? Or
Oh, is he the young one? No,
I mean, he's 70 and 60's the age.
Yeah.
So.
I can't believe you revealed the age.
I mean,
We knew he was 69. We made jokes about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or maybe that was just me.
Jess has been making
I
jokes.
feel less certain now that was on air.
So we await to hear word from Greg Cody up there of how that process is going. A little bit later today, we've got 2 Suey categories. Chris, one of them is the best back in my day.
Yep, because I thought my dad would be here. I didn't think we would be sending him to try out. But
He did one this year?
We had enough. Yeah.
Honestly, there was 10 this year.
10 total.
Which, if you think about it, it's not that much. It's like one every 5 weeks.
But weren't like 2 of them AI?
It's less than one a month. You're right.
I ended up cutting 2 of them. So, like, there's 8 nominated.
Wow.
So, I don't remember I don't think they're
Are we
AI
going to
ones.
listen to the full back in my days?
No, I abbreviate them.
Yeah, man, it's curated.
It's about 13 minutes of back in my days we have coming up later in the show.
What's the other Suey?
best mistake, worst mistake.
Oh, boy.
Is how we call it.
Stugotz, are you best known for best
I think
dismissal?
it's dismissal. I think Dan owns the mistake category.
I bring it strong this year.
Really?
I bring it strong this year. In the mistake
Are there
category.
any better than Vince Wilfork? Or was that most
That was that
uncomfortable
one
moment?
That was uncomfortable last year. That's not
okay.
nominated this year.
Darn.
Yeah.
Dan usually dominates
Dan,
this conference.
And Dan brings it this year, but I give him a fight for his money.
Fight for his money. All right.
Did I say that? Did I not say that?
I don't know if you said that.
I'm not going to lie. I watched.
Damn it.
Yeah, run for his money.
There's another one.
Fight for his life. I mean,
We'll add that for next
If you
week.
did that on purpose, it would have been great.
I thought you were.
I did.
I watched the best dismissal Suey category yesterday, and my honest to God reaction was, I need to get better at dismissals because I wasn't nominated for a single one, and I was just listening to Billy and Stugotz just crush it, and Mike. Honestly, Mike
unfair.
Swearing at Mario Cristobal for not kneeling it down was a moment.
Hold on. Bullshit. I did not do that. That was after an entire show of you guys browbeating me, put us there in that moment.
I knew you'd hate that.
Yeah,
I
did.
Unfair.
I did. Thanks. And it was like minutes removed from me asking for Mario Cristobal to do something.
Right.
Jess, I think we're friends. As a friend, I would
Yes.
say, don't worry about the dismissals. Career-wise, better not to get into the dismissal game.
I mean, it's worked out well for me.
Well,
Is
until
it
it
bad?
doesn't. Yeah, just
Billy,
you're on the right path.
I had the same thought as you.
Keep it straight and narrow.
Yeah, Chris, just as like a governor from here on out, if you're like, that's really going to upset Mike, don't do it. Just like, don't put me in that spot. Just don't.
But
Like,
it
if you know
made
it's going to annoy me,
listeners
don't
happy,
do that.
I will
I'm
say.
not Dan. I'm not anybody. I'm asking. Please don't.
Wait, Mike, are you saying that in the history of the show, we're approaching the 20th year, you have never done something knowingly that was going to piss someone off?
No. I have.
Right.
And if I were actually doing that in that moment, by all means, frame it that way. But to frame it inaccurately is just total bullshit on this show's part.
Oh, wait. Being framed inaccurately, that should be a Suey
Since
category.
that's what we do is give full context on all these mistakes.
I do.
You know what you did.
You
know what you did. Don't pretend like you don't know what you did.
I knew you ripping Cristobal would be funny.
Yeah, but I didn't.
I will say this, Mike.
You
is that
out the gates you had me saying F you and you make it seem like I'm just saying to Mario Cristobal F you. I didn't do
Wait,
that.
you didn't? I'm legitimately asking. Now I'm very confused.
No,
we replay
I
the
didn't.
tape?
I didn't. I didn't. And you guys know
It
that.
sounded like you.
Yeah, it did. Did someone say something to you? What happened?
You guys think it's all cute.
I was, Mike, I'll say this. I was happy. I was happy that it was included because it reminded me to talk about my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets one more time. How you like them jackets? Huh? Making people money? Making Amin proud?
Was there any part of you that wanted to go to Dublin for this game?
Go to Dublin? No. No.
Why not?
Now you've gone too far.
Yeah, you go. No. No, I'm. Look, I go to one game a year. I've got to mentally prepare myself because, as you guys know, I'm a super fan who most of the year masquerades as someone who doesn't give a shit. So, in order for that one day a year where I have to actually project as my true self, my true super fan self, I've got to prep for that. I got to do a little bit of homework, got to do a little research, and then I go and I got to be surrounded with my friends that I went to college with because they provide me with a lot of the research and information in order for me to present as a super fan I truly am before I go back to being the fraud that I am for the 364 days a year. Speaking of frauds.
Yeah, thanks.
The U.S. Open's about to start.
It is. Well, it started.
Or it started?
Yep, started.
Sure. There you go.
Yep.
Frauds. What did I tell you? And Jannik Sinner, the world number one, is playing despite testing positive for an anabolic steroid. For more on this, we go to our tennis correspondent, Michael Ryan Ruiz.
This was a massive scandal, and it's got a lot of players upset. And a lot of players are upset because of a double standard. Now, there is precedent for players being suspended for a long time when they have this amount in their system. Now, to be clear, this was explained to me via Andy Roddick's podcast. The amount that was found in his system was less than a grain of salt. And the defense, Stugotz, correct me if I'm wrong, is while receiving treatment on a table, Sinner had an open wound, and one of the creams used as a topical cream got into his bloodstream, and it had a banned substance in it.
And his trainer was using that cream to treat something on his own body, and it's like allegedly like seeped through Jannik Sinner's skin, and so then he tested for this like infinitesimally small amount of this banned substance.
Which is in the Italian version of Neosporin, right? It has this anabolic steroid in it.
Right. But all this being said, on the surface and how we're presenting it, okay, that's good for Sinner. Like that, this seems unfair if he were to be banned. And the ruling was he's allowed to continue to play. However,
it seems unfair if you're buying his story.
It seems unfair if you're buying his story. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence that would suggest a lot of injuries that kind of correspond with some of the symptoms that go along with this banned substance, and a lot of former players that have been dinged for similar amounts, wondering why the double standard.
It's interesting. I mean, and then he did the thing. So I had no idea what they were putting on my body, which I highly doubt. I'm skeptical about that. And then he fired the two people who have been with him the entire time while he's risen to number one in the world. He fired two people who are a big part of his team.
That part I found very, very odd. By the way, he had his case go before a panel of 3 independent experts, and 2 of whom were unaware of his identity. So they didn't even know who they were judging, and they found the explanation plausible, that the trainer had some on his hands, and then they went into the wound, and then later on in the treatment session. But I'm with Stugotz, like, hey, man, all right, my bad. Like, it's literally a microscopic amount. You gonna fire me?
Well, that's what he tested positive for, a microscopic amount. And there are people out there on the internet theorizing, well, there are masking agents that could be at play, that this is the amount that they found, but it may not be the amount in their system. Also, leading to more circumstantial evidence is Jannik Sinner's rise to prominence, to being the world number one, the present number one seed in this. He's had a really good year. It's not like he came out of nowhere. This was a prospect that people had high hopes.
He was building, yeah.
But he really turned it on, probably ahead of where most people projected him at this point. So you have this guy really ascend. You have injuries and circumstantial evidence mounting, and you have the fact that you have precedent with other tennis players being punished for similar amounts, and you wonder, why is Sinner allowed to do this? But you do have to credit, as you did, an independent court, 2 of which didn't have any idea who he was, decided that he wasn't guilty of purposefully doing this.
I like the idea, by the way, real quick, Stugotz, that the 2 that didn't know who he was, it wasn't that it was a blind taste test or whatever. It was just like, so this is Jannik Sinner's sample, and like, who the is Jannik Sinner?
Yeah, it's like Greg Cody. Like, I don't pay attention.
They were tennis fans.
Yeah, but this is a big time scandal, and there was a lot of tennis players weighing in, and you have the U.S. Open going on right now, and he is the number one seed. So it is a massive scandal in the world of tennis.
It gets down, I think, this is the interesting part of the story. If you're the number one tennis player in the world, if you're a professional athlete, aren't you aware of everything that's being put in and on your body? Are you telling me Sinner didn't realize this until he tested positive? Like, he didn't know what they were putting on his body?
I do think that you trust your trainers to adhere to guidelines. You're also asking them to not only know what's on the topical cream, every ingredient that goes into that, and if it's against the rules, but also to know, we don't know I don't know what the wound looked like on his leg. It's possible that he didn't know that he even had a wound on his leg.
Sure, but don't you think there's a conversation between player and team? Guys, here's the banned substance list. Don't put any of this on my body. That never happens?
By the excuse, it wasn't even going on his body. The trainer himself was treating himself.
Yeah.
And then this got into his system because there was some residue. Again, it was smaller than a grain of salt.
The idea is that, like, the guy was working on something else, hadn't washed his hands properly or whatever, and then started working.
Secondhand smoke?
Yeah, a little bit of that.
A lot of this kind of falls into that tainted meat plausibility. In that there are
tainted meat, 2 of my favorite words.
There are trace amounts in this, and it's a believable thing. So people are wondering, like, is this going to be the new tainted meat excuse?
This is the new, my dog ate my homework, right? Like, my trainer didn't wash his hands. Which I guess then...
I'd never heard this excuse before, and maybe the first time that I heard tainted meat, I kind of had a similar reaction, like, I didn't know that was possible. Oh, okay, I guess. And then everyone had tainted meat stories, so I don't know if everyone's going to have open wound stories going forward.
Well, the other thing is this anabolic steroid that's in this Italian Neosporin. Apparently, this steroid is an over-the-counter drug in Italy. It's not It's very readily available. So it's not like they went to some shady back alley guy to get this thing.
And Sinner is Italian.
Despite a name that
doesn't track.
But
that's why I wanted to make that clear to the audience, because Jannik Sinner doesn't seem like
Isn't
an
he
Italian
Northern
name.
Italian? Isn't part of the controversy like they didn't make this public until after the appeal and everything had been settled, and a lot of tennis fans are irritated and annoyed, and a lot of players are annoyed that they just found out about this, even though it happened in March.
That is probably the biggest reason as to why, because now all of this seems far too convenient for Jannik Sinner, and the double standard isn't just in the punishment, but it was how the secrecy was upheld. Like you can start seeing where the mind gravitates towards conspiracy theories. New number one, we just made a brand new superstar. We're losing all these stars in the men's game, and almost immediately you have guys like Sinner and Alcaraz. They ascend to just pick up the slack almost immediately.
That's how you do it.
And it's awfully convenient in the eyes of many.
Now, Stugotz, I got some quotes for you here from several people. First of all, it's from Denis Shapovalov, a Canadian player who's scheduled to play in the first round on Monday, where he played yesterday. Different rules for different players.
I understand why he would say that and think that. Yes. Nick
Kyrgios, we all know and love Nick Kyrgios, Miami Heat fan. Ridiculous, whether it was accidental or planned. You get tested twice with a banned substance, you should be gone for 2 years.
What, 2 years?
I like the Nick Kyrgios dismissal here.
Right.
And then this is from Sinner himself. Obviously, it's been a very tough moment for me and my team. It still is. It's quite fresh, everything. I also know who is my friend and who is not my friend now. Because my friends know I would never do that. Stugotz, do you like Kyrgios' extreme dismissal, Sedano-esque, if I may?
Yeah.
Remember when he tried to ban Rudy Gobert for
I do remember
causing COVID?
Yeah, for life?
Yeah. Or do you like Jannik Sinner saying, hey, at least now I know who's on my side and who's not?
I think when you're Sinner, that's one of the things you have to say, because you're trying to convince everyone that you had no idea. This was an accident, so you have to say. That's one of the staple things you say. It's kind of like a hot take, right?
Yeah.
One of the things you have to say is, you should be ashamed of yourself, where he had the audacity, right? Those are keys to hot takes. That's the key.
That's a counter.
Yes.
Okay.
What Sinner is doing there is one of the keys to, hey, I did it, but I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I like Kyrgios, because I do think, first off, the rules should be the same for every player. They really should be. Those kind of rules, okay? If within a team, if one quarterback could fall asleep during the quarterback session and the backup can't, and the backup gets waived if he falls asleep, I understand those rules being different, but these are general rules to the sport.
Right.
And so I am with Kyrgios, that if he indeed tested positive, and he did,
twice,
he should be suspended for longer. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we had the appetizer last week, but now it's time to feast. College football is back. Don't miss any of the action. Jump in with DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a full slate of games for Week 1, including the big matchup in Atlanta between the preseason number 1 and number 16. All you newbies getting into the college football spirit, here's something extra special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code DAN. That's code DAN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/FTBall.
Don Le Batard.
You have some hot takes today. Joe Chestnut's a fraud.
He's on fire.
He called Connor McDavid overrated before the show.
What the hell was that, Greg?
Yeah, no,
I love it.
Stugotz.
Roy, let me explain it to you. And not that you know more about hockey.
And this
than
is
I do.
coming from a guy that's watched Connor play 6 times.
Right.
If that.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We have the Raheem Mostert interview that's coming up a little bit later. before we do that, just to tee this conversation up, this Dolphins-esque conversation, Billy, you want the media to stop doing what with regards to the Dolphins?
What I want them to start doing, just like let's drop the Brian Flores to a thing if we can. Like we got that.
You mean the thing that this show started?
Yeah, the problem that we started. Let's kind of put that to rest if we can, because I feel like now every time Tua talks, they just ask him like follow-ups on Brian Flores.
But isn't this we ran with?
Oh
it for
yeah,
a week.
no, it's 100%.
And now we're telling people it's too much.
I'm just saying,
Too much.
let's not continue this distraction that we ourselves caused. Because yesterday they asked Tua like follow-ups, because then Brian Flores commented. So then, like in a perfect world, it's like, okay, well, that's the end of that. But then the journalists decided to journalism, and now they're doing follow-ups in Tua, and I feel like this is going to be continuing to be a thing. So here's what Tua had to say yesterday.
You mentioned in your comments to Dan how he was highly critical of you through that process. And yet there was, I think, somewhat of a surprise that he made the change when he did. Why do you think that change to bench Ryan and insert you happened if he was so down on you?
It's a great question. I'm not going to answer that truthfully right now, but I think I know why, but I won't. I won't speculate or give anyone any speculations on that. Whatever you want to create to think that. But other than that, I think that'll just stay here with the organization.
So he did learn his lesson a little bit.
He is done telling the truth.
That does seem like he's like, I saw what happened last time. I was really honest, so I'm just gonna not this time.
Do you see the body language difference with you guys? Arm around Chris, legs sprawled.
If I was there playing with my drawstrings, he would have answered that.
It was
question.
a comfy couch too. I mean,
he was all stiff.
I guess it kind of diffused it, but there are ways to answer that question to further ensure that you won't be asked similar questions.
That door's still open.
Yeah, but that's not our fault. That's his.
No, that's what I'm saying. He left the door open. Well, ultimately, it's our fault for starting the problem.
For asking a question? Like, he went into that interview with intent to answer that question honestly.
Right, but Billy, you're saying you want journalists to stop asking him about it.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
I want journalism to stop in this.
I think you had a chance to end it right there.
Let's just focus on the football season that's about to start, please.
Why is that? This is interesting.
No. What's
with
interesting is winning a playoff game. None of this nonsense.
You don't want any distractions?
No distractions. Let's put those blinders on. Let's get focused up on this season.
Right. If the Dolphins don't play well, are you going to blame Dan?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Whoa, that feels like a no-brainer.
Yes.
It's got to be Dan's fault. You know why I know it's Dan's fault? Because the question asked, they didn't say on the Dan Le Batard show or
when
in
Dan
that interview.
asked you.
It said when Dan. There's one name. Like it's Selena.
Here's the
Cher.
Selena.
Here's the Gomez. Here's the issue that's confusing is according to Stephen A., Dan was a Dolphins plant, right?
Yes.
So if Dan was a Dolphins plant in this situation, do we blame Dan or do we blame someone from within the Dolphins organization for throwing off this season?
Is Dan? Hold on, wait. Is Dan a pawn in a grander scheme?
That's what I'm wondering. And who is it?
Who planted him?
Who planted him?
Roger Goodell. I thought we did that, the whole thing.
It all started with the Josh Norman hug.
But if you believe what Stephen A. is saying, I think, Billy, this is the way it goes down. Someone from the Dolphins or Tua's camp would have to reach out to Dan. That's the way
I think we have this all backwards. Remember when David Sampson said that the thing he hated the most when he was the president of the Marlins was when the other teams in South Florida were successful? Do we think that Pat Riley has now infiltrated Dan's brain to get the Dolphins to be worse so that people will be excited about the Heat again?
Wow.
This is a great theory. This is how inside jobs happen.
We're looking in the wrong place. We're looking at the Dolphins. We should be looking at the Heat.
Yeah. Wow, and he's known to carry water for the Miami Heat. Jess.
That's a good point.
Unbelievable.
It was right in front of us.
This thing open.
Right in front of us the whole time.
Yes. Was another offseason where they struck out.
Yeah.
You feel like the end of the Usual Suspects where he's looking at all the stuff on the bulletin board?
And no one's talking about how
Cole Swider got away.
Struck out.
It's amazing.
Now we're just sending my dad there.
Number one Dolphins guy is going to the Heat.
Do we put him in a losing spot?
Dude, I kind of feel like, no, quite the opposite.
Okay.
He's in a position of power now.
All right, I feel better now.
Yeah, but he's also a pawn.
The spot's irrelevant. It's just just look over here. Look over here.
We're all pawns. Don't you see?
Put it
We're
on the
all
poll.
in this.
Pawn stars.
Are we all pawns?
Did the Heat put that thing on my social media so I would see
Yes.
it, so that I would send my, like, now I'm feeling like I'm being played.
Who gave you the drawstrings?
Damn it.
It's like a gift from the Miami.
The bald guy from security.
The fixer.
Can I be Chumley?
Bernie was in this studio a few months ago.
Which Bernie? Oh,
mascot.
The Heat mascot.
What other one did you think I was
I'm
talking
in too deep. I've already said too much. I've already said too
There's
much.
another Bernie.
Kosar.
Pat Riley was inside Bernie and whispered his instructions to Dan so there'd be no paper trail, no text trail.
I thought it was odd that he had Gucci loafers on.
Yeah. Parmalee?
This is all making sense now.
You're going to go into Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee?
I miss Greg.
Wow, it's all coming together, folks.
This is crazy.
Mike, I have, there's no way to transition out of that, but I have an uncomfortable amount of money on the Hurricanes this weekend.
Oh, boy.
Don't put that on me. For just this game,
Yeah.
don't put that on me.
I am putting it on you. No, you sold me.
You keep saying that I've sold you. I think I've been like super chill, and I actually think Saturday's going to be a close game.
Mike's made me nervous for UM on this because he's talked about how it's like the most important game in history. Like, I'm not even a diehard UM fan, and I'm nervous for UM.
By the way, I saw an interview with Steve Spurrier hit YouTube, and he said that this is the most important Gators game since 1988.
Classic old ball coach. I mean, no, but Mike, I am nervous because combination, okay, you have sold me on Cam Ward. You have sold me on how good the offseason has been. I'm just saying, you've told me they're talented.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Ward's a proven commodity. I don't need to tell you how good Cam Ward is. You watched him at Washington State, and it's been a good offseason in talent acquisition. A lot of people they've been the popular pick to win the ACC. Greg McElroy, I think, does a great job with his podcast, very insightful. He picked the Canes to win the ACC. Yeah, there's a lot of hype, but what I would say is there's a heavy public road favorite. And 2 years ago, granted they had an NFL quarterback under center, Billy Napier beat a Utah program that was humming. Yeah. Because of that atmosphere. It's one of the best atmospheres in college sports.
It's
and
great. Yeah.
The longer that Florida is in that game, if say Damian Martinez runs 60 yards first snap, then we're good, right? But you give that crowd a reason to believe, and no Miami players have really experienced that atmosphere as a collective, as a unit. This is quite the jump up for a team that has been disappointing over the last few years. And, by the way, a team and a program that has never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. They have anytime there's been like 6 seasons over the last 20 years where they've entered a season with lofty expectations and been a Vogue top 10 pick. And they always disappoint. 2017, they were a miraculous team, kind of a bit of a fraud, but no one had high expectations for that. So they always find a way to disappoint. If I weren't so close to it, the money that you do just on principle, the bet that you place is the home dog Florida in this spot.
Now, Stugotz, you said you made a massive bet. How massive of a bet did you make?
A lot of money.
Hey, you don't ask someone that.
No,
I mean, it's Canes -2 on the road. It's a combination of I do believe in what Mike is saying about the Canes roster, and I don't believe in Napier or the Florida Gators.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I think they have a lot of question marks on the right side of their line. I think Mertz is probably underrated. He's been a good quarterback for them, and he plays within the offense, probably a little conservative, but that'll play. If they make mistakes, then the momentum can get running. But I think that everything about this Miami Hurricane season really hinges on that game at Florida because the schedule certainly opens up for Miami if they win this one.
Mike, I got November 2nd circled on my calendar. Miami versus Duke. Manny Diaz revenge game.
Wow. Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. If you're like me, you're constantly thinking about the safety of the people and things you value most. After a friend told me about a break-in in his home in which many of his most valuable possessions were stolen, I knew I needed to secure my home with the best. I've trusted Simply Safe to protect my home for 6 years now, and the level of security and customer care has been incredible. I sleep better every night knowing Simply Safe's 24/7 monitoring agents are standing by to protect me and my home. They'll also send emergency help when I need it most. I want you to have the same peace of mind that I and so many listeners experience every day, which is why I partner with SimpliSafe to offer listeners 20% off a system. Just visit simplysafe.com/DLB. What I love most is that SimpliSafe just keeps getting better. Protect your home this summer with 20% off any new SimpliSafe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/DLB. That's simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.